We are here with, tell me your name.
Feyi Obamehinti, and I'm running for the State Board of Education, District 11. It covers all of Packard County, north, south, west of Tarrant County, and 6 cities in Dallas County. And those cities are Irving, Coppell, Louisville, Carrollton, Addison, and Farmers Branch.
You know, I just talked with you a few moments ago. You sound like you're a very conservative person, somebody that perhaps the Homeschooling Coalition would like to back, or other people. So tell me a little bit more about your background. And you mentioned that the Dallas Morning News does not view you favorably.
Well, that is not a surprise. I'm actually a homeschool mom. We homeschool our family. My husband and I homeschooled our 3 daughters, now ages 27, 24, and 23, for 11 years. And during those years, we were homeschool leaders, so we've had the opportunity to work closely with Texas Homeschool Coalition, Tim and Lindsay. They're just great people that we greatly admire. I'm actually endorsed by Texas Homeschool Coalition. So I should tell you something about my conservative beliefs. I am a strong conservative that is just not by name, but because of my biblical beliefs. I'm one of those that believe that your conviction should be aligned to your values. So, and when I make decisions, they're based on that belief. My biblical values that basically directs my principles as well as my values. So one of the key things right now that the Dallas Morning News found to pick on me, and basically that I'm far right to them, is because we're a homeschooling family, and also because of my support for the statewide bathroom bill that is dead already. But if it ever came up, I will be one of those that basically say I'm in support of it. Of course, the incumbent opposes that, so that's a huge difference between us that you can use to judge. I'm running because I believe it's time for a new, strong, conservative voice for District 11.
And now this State Board of Education, do you have anything to do with textbooks or not?
Yes. Actually, there are 7 responsibilities, primary responsibilities of the State Board Education members. Number 1 is setting curriculum standards. Number 2 is reviewing instructional materials. I've had the privilege actually to do that twice. I did that last year. I'm reviewing special topics, which is the Jewish studies that was adopted. The third thing is they set graduation requirements, and also they supervise the permanent school fund, which Texas is known for its huge, robust endowment for. And also the state board appoints special members, what we call board members, to military reservations, as well as to the special school districts, districts that are closed for poor performance, either financially or academically. And also the state board also reviews amendments that are made by the State Board of Educator certification. So those, and also finally, they also review the approval of new charter schools. So those are the major responsibilities of the State Board. And I've had privilege to function already in a lot of those, because after our kids went back to public school, our oldest graduated from a charter school, and the other 2 graduated from HEB ISD, Trinity High School. I had the opportunity to go back in the classroom as a middle school science teacher, elementary.
So you're a teacher. Yes.
I teach teachers right now, so that's what I do. I'm just showing you my progression, where I've been, the preparation I've had to where I am today. So I've taught middle school science, I've taught elementary math, elementary science, elementary social studies, high school biology. When I taught high school biology in Irving ISD, I had 7 classes, and 4 of those were packed full of students that could not read and write, and English was not their first language. So that made me go back to school to learn how to properly teach them. And I ended up being successful because that was back in the day that we had the TAS test. And so 87% of my students at that time basically did very well. Well, that gave me the idea that I need to go back and help my colleagues that probably are struggling and no one is helping. And that's how I started professional development, training teachers.
That's wonderful.
And I had a chance to train with Texas Education Agency, be a consultant with the Service Center, and for the past 2 years opened up my own business, teaching teachers and principals in best practices for all all students.
Well, you obviously have the qualifications, but let me ask you something else. Where are you from?
Okay, I was born in Phoenix, Arizona. My parents are Nigerians.
Okay,
And
I thought you said a little bit Nigerian accent there.
Yes. So I grew up a little there, and I've been back, but I have this funny Texan British accent that I wear with me.
Yeah, you've got a little bit of the Nigerian still with you though too. I've been overseas before. You know, I used to have friends. I actually had been a missionary in the Middle East.
Okay.
So I knew people that were studying at the seminary there from Nigeria and other countries in Africa as well.
Yeah.
And so you were talking again about the bilingual. Well, I guess the education of people that are not, to whom English is not their first language.
That's correct.
And that's a very interesting point that you're addressing. I used to actually be an ESL teacher, taught both in the States, in Washington State, to migrant workers, taught in prison systems, taught overseas. I used that when I was in the Middle East to teach other people. But tell me a little bit more about that and what, because more and more people in our school systems, English is not their first language.
I'm glad you brought that up. Right now, based on the PIMS report that was conducted for the 2016-2017 school year, we're always a year behind, the enrollment, it shows that we have over 5 million students across the state in our public school.
Wow.
Well, 2 million of those are Latino backgrounds.
Yes.
And there's a high probability that out of those 2 million, a lot of them will be English language learners.
Yes.
And English language learners basically means English is not their primary language.
Yes.
And so when they are in our schools, it's a struggle for them.
Right.
I happen to work with districts right now, training teachers on how to teach those children in their math classroom, in their science, in their social studies, or English language arts classroom.
Yes.
Now, the programs are not consistent. So you could go to a district here, they're doing something different. You go to another district, they're doing something different. So we need consistency. For example, Texas Education Agency is working on the long-range plan. Those 2 million students that are Latinos, they are a big part, and they will decide a lot of things for our long-range plan.
Yes.
I have that expertise, and I want to bring it to our board to make sure that it doesn't have a domino effect on our curriculum and everything else, to make sure that our teachers also are adequately prepared to teach them. You've taught ESL. I've taught ESL. It's not a piece of cake.
No, it's not. But what I also find interesting, you talked about the Dallas Morning News earlier.
Yes.
Now, you know, I'm originally from Pennsylvania, came to Texas. Texas is this great conservative state. I'm getting the Dallas Morning News, and I'm almost thinking that the Dallas Morning News is a Democratic National Committee rag or journal. I'm like, you know, they talk about issues, and I mean, the issue that you're talking about right now, the second language learners of English in our school system, they would say, we need to have a democratic solution. Both Democrats, because the Republicans are mean and hateful and everything else. But here you are very conservative, and you're the one with the experience. You're the one that's saying this is an issue we need to address.
Very, very true. If they go on my webpage, which I'm sure they probably were not interested in looking at, they'll find out that that's one of my priorities for the office, working on the long-range plan because of our English language learners. I think most of the time they decide how they want to run their stories. So
obviously.
I'm a homeschool mom because we've homeschooled, and we are basically, what I can say, a poster family on using conservative values and seeing the results. And I've used the same values within my classrooms and seeing the success in my students. My oldest, that is 27, by the way, she graduated from SMU with a journalism degree, has 2 master's degrees from not Texas, and she's a financial consultant in New York.
Wow.
Our second daughter,
homeschool too.
Homeschool.
Okay.
All 3 of them graduated at age 16. Were homeschooled for 11 years.
Wow.
The second one graduated from Rice, Biological Sciences and French. And she's a medical student, a global medical student in Europe, working with Doctors Without Borders. The third one,
that's amazing.
The third one also graduated from SMU. Engineering and math. Masters in Systems Engineering. Today,
Wow.
she is the youngest. She is the youngest technical program manager engineer for Facebook in San Francisco.
That is amazing.
Does conservative values work? Yes,
Absolutely.
it does. I am
Absolutely.
a poster child for that.
Wow, that's
Yes.
tremendous.
Yeah.
You know, it was so wonderful to meet you. I didn't know anything about you until just a few moments ago.
Well, thank you.
And tell us again your website or anything like that.
Yes, they can find out more information about me. www.feyi.schools.com. So www.feyiforschools.com, and I will be honored to earn your vote and to support you.
Okay, I'm not in this district, so I can't vote for you, but boy, if I could, I would be out there doing it. And you mentioned something else about the textbooks. I am so grateful because you realize that the values that are in our textbooks influence future generations.
Yes, it does.
And
Yes,
some
it
of
does.
these values that we have seen in recent years have not been good.
And that's why I'm a firm believer. One of the top priorities in my office is instituting a community forum whereby community members meet together and we address issues, getting community input. I'm a firm believer that if you're going to represent people, you should know what they think about issues.
Right.
You should get input from them. And the state board meets quarterly, and what will it look like to also meet quarterly in different areas in Parker County, in Tarrant County, in Dallas County, and talk about the issues and talk about the facts of what is really affecting us. Get input from parents, from teachers, from principals, from business owners that believe and support public education. We will have a strong guidepost moving towards decision making if we're addressing issues in the future. Look at what our governor just did. Our governor just did the same thing, working on school funding and given a commission or a committee one whole year to meet together to get input and be ready when the legislature comes in 2019.
That's amazing.
That's what we're talking about.
Thank you very much. It looks like this gentleman here wanted to ask you one question.
Okay.
Yes, maybe two if you permit, but congratulations. You are wonderful what you've done for your three daughters.
Thank you.
Outstanding parents.
Thank
Dream
you.
come true what you've accomplished.
Thank
I'd like
you.
to say that.
Conservative values work. I know that because we've lived it and we have the results to show for it, and it's possible for anyone. Yes.
My first question was adverse childhood experiences. It's a 21st century juggernaut science. It's on trauma. Aces, like Ace of Spades.
Are you familiar with it?
No, I'm learning what he's saying now.
Okay.
Okay, you need to run it. It's absolutely it's going to revolutionize everything that we do in our life, in our world here.
So what's your question on that?
Okay, it's a trauma science.
Okay.
It's heavily funded by federal governments, CDC and SAMHSA. It's being rolled out in Texas starting 2015.
Okay, do
So
you have...
the simple version of it is when a child is exposed to psychological trauma in their childhood, then it takes their whole life.
I know what you're talking about. We don't call it trauma science. We call it social emotional learning. Okay, so I just needed to make the connection.
Right, so
Yes.
basically the science of ACE is a statistical science, shows that these children will go on to teen vagrancy, teen suicide, teen pregnancy, teen runaways, all of that problems. Then later on in life, early onset of killer diseases, and finally a 20-year reduction in life expectancy. Now these people are traumatized, so one of the things like here in the local school district, I met with the assistant superintendent and he told me that the biggest problem was in elementary school.
Yes.
These children are coming in so traumatized their brain can't learn. And it takes them at least 8 months to even get them to the point where their children are in a position to begin to learn. What is your position or what would you do with that?
My position is, that's what I said, it's called social emotional learning. And actually, when I was at the service center, I initiated what we call the Newcomer Refugee Network.
Hey,
because
how you doing?
Because a lot of the schools within the Region 10 consortium had a lot of students with backgrounds that were traumatized. And these were refugees, asylees, institutes. A lot of them had
Good to see
witnessed
you. Thank you for
wars, their
representing
parents
us.
killed,
I'm out of your
and they've
district,
never
but
been processed. So we
I
call that
appreciate
social
it.
emotional learning. And so what we started doing is seeking out social services to come within schools. And one of those that I brought into this public school was what is called the Center for Survivors of Torture. The Centers for Survival of Torture basically gets funding from different areas, and they provide free counseling services to traumatized students within the public school. They do it in more of a group coaching. And so the idea basically is if students are traumatized and it's not processed and addressed, it blocks their ability to learn. And so now a lot of school districts have embraced social emotional learning. I'm actually working with 2 school districts that just piloted a program this school year. So I believe strongly that yes, it will move in. It's important because most of the time teachers don't know their students are traumatized. For example, I observed in a high school campus one time that the teacher was talking about wars and the impact of wars. Unknown to that teacher, there was a student in that classroom that busted out crying because it triggered an emotion in her. Exactly. And the reason why it was triggered is because she's never processed her trauma. And that was an eye-opener for the teacher, and we realized we needed to get the counselor involved so that we could see any free services, social services that could work with that student.